What if the sleeping pad you choose could make the difference between waking up ready for a full day outdoors and waking up sore, cold, and wishing you had stayed home? In 2026, camping sleeping pads have come a long way, with everything from ultralight options built for backpackers to thick, heavily insulated pads designed for maximum comfort. But which one actually gives you the best combination of comfort, warmth, weight, and value? That's exactly what we're finding out today, as we compare 5 of the best sleeping pads for camping in 2026, from lightweight summer options to serious cold weather contenders. We'll break down what makes each one stand out, where each one falls short, and which type of camper it's really made for. All the links are in the description, so you can check them out for yourself. Now, let's get into the list and find out which sleeping pad deserves a place in your camping gear. Number 5. Number 5 is the Nemo Tensor Trail Ultralight Insulated. Nemo's space-frame baffle system uses low-stretch fabric trusses running through the interior, which eliminates a lot of that springy, unstable pool toy feeling you get from cheaper air pads, and testers consistently single this pad out as one of the quietest inflatables on the market. No crinkling every time you roll over. At 3.5 inches thick and roughly 13 ounces in the regular mummy size, it's genuinely comfortable for a pad this light, and the micro-adjustable valve makes dialing in firmness easy even after a long day. Where this one loses ground is warmth for the money. Its R value sits at just 2.8, noticeably lower than competitors at a similar $18 to $20 price bracket, which puts it firmly in summer and mild shoulder season territory rather than genuine 3-season use. There's also a specific documented durability concern worth flagging. One verified REI customer review describes receiving a warranty replacement unit that completely deflated after just 2 nights on trail, the same failure that had affected their original pad. That's a single reported case, not a pattern, but it's a real sourced account rather than internet noise, and it's worth knowing going in. If ultralight weight and packability are your top priorities, and you're mostly camping in warm weather, this pad delivers. If you need a pad that also handles a genuine cold snap, this isn't the strongest pick on this list for that job. Number 4. Number 4, the Fun Pack Camping Sleeping Pad. If you want a camping pad that gives you a lot of comfort-focused features without making setup complicated, this one is worth a look. It's 3 inches thick and roughly 1.5 pounds, with a built-in pillow and an integrated foot pump that lets you inflate the pad without having to blow into it after a long day on the trail. The 40D nylon construction with a TPU coating gives it a reasonable balance of durability and water resistance, while the roughly 75 by 25 inch sleeping surface gives you noticeably more room than many ultralight mummy-style pads. The built-in pump is really the headline feature here. You simply use your foot to inflate it, so there's no separate pump to carry and no mouth inflation required, and the pad can also be connected to another one when you want a wider sleeping surface. Where this one loses ground is weight and insulation. At around 1.5 pounds, it's not exactly an ultralight pad by serious backpacking standards, and the available specifications don't give it the kind of clearly established cold weather R value that you'd want for a dedicated 3-season or winter setup. The integrated pillow is also a matter of personal preference. Some campers will appreciate having everything in one piece, while others will prefer a separate pillow they can position independently. If convenience, thickness, and an all-in-one design are your priorities, the Fun Pack makes a lot of sense. If you're counting every ounce in your backpack or regularly camping in genuinely cold conditions, there are stronger options on this list for that job. Number 3. V-Climate Static V2 takes a much simpler approach, and that's part of what makes it appealing. At around 2.5 inches thick and roughly 1 pound, it's a genuinely lightweight, full-size sleeping pad, while Climate's V-shaped chamber design spreads support across your body and gives the pad a more structured feel than a basic air mattress. The integrated side rails help keep you centered when you move around during the night, and the deep weld patterning creates expansion zones that allow your sleeping bag to loft beneath you, rather than being completely compressed against the pad. It's also remarkably compact when packed, coming down to roughly 8 by 3 inches, so it doesn't take up much room in a backpack. Inflation is straightforward as well, with the valve designed to get the pad inflated in roughly 10 to 15 breaths. Where this one loses ground is warmth. Its ASTM R value is only 1.3, which puts it firmly in warm weather territory and means it provides minimal insulation from cold ground compared with properly insulated 3-season pads. The 30D polyester top and tougher 75D polyester bottom also keep the weight down while providing reasonable durability, but this is still a thin air pad rather than a heavily cushioned luxury mattress. If you're looking for a compact, inexpensive pad for summer backpacking, hiking, or warm weather camping, the Static V2 is an easy option to recommend. If you need serious insulation for cold nights, this isn't the pad I'd choose for that job. Number 2, the Elegear Cumbre X takes almost the opposite approach from the Climate, putting insulation and cold weather comfort at the center of the design. It's 4 inches thick, roughly 2 pounds, and uses a 9-layer insulation system that Elegear says delivers an R value of 9, with the rating independently tested and ASTM F3340-22 certified. That's an unusually high insulation figure for a camping pad, and it's designed specifically for people who don't want the cold ground becoming the weak point in their sleep system. The pad uses a mummy-style shape with densely distributed support cells underneath you, while the 20D ripstop nylon and reinforced TPU construction provide a waterproof, abrasion-resistant outer shell. Despite the high insulation rating, Elegear keeps the setup relatively backpacking-friendly by including a pump sack, with the company claiming inflation in just 4 to 6 pumps. At 4 inches thick, it also gives you considerably more cushioning than the thinner pads elsewhere on this list, which should be especially welcome on rocky or uneven ground. The honest trade-off is weight and bulk. At about 2 pounds, this isn't the kind of pad you'd pick if shaving every possible ounce is your only goal, and the extra insulation and thickness inevitably make it less minimalist than something like the Static V2. There's also a difference between having a very high R value on paper and actually needing that much insulation for your usual camping conditions. If you're a cold weather camper who wants serious ground insulation, substantial cushioning, and a pad designed for 4-season use, the Cumbre X is one of the more compelling choices here. If most of your trips are warm weather backpacking adventures where weight matters more than extreme insulation, you're carrying more pad than you really need. Number 1, the strongest overall pick on this list, is the Therm-a-Rest Neoloft. If comfort is your single biggest priority in a sleeping pad, camping, or backpacking, this is the one to get. It's 4.6 inches thick, the thickest pad on this entire list by a real margin, with vertical sidewalls instead of tapered edges, which increases the usable sleep surface by roughly 20% and means you can toss and turn all night without ever feeling like you're about to roll off the edge. The outer fabric is a stretch knit material, genuinely softer against your skin than the nylon most competitors use, and it's the first air pad built this way. Inside, the Contour Core Matrix uses 2 stacked rows of triangular air chambers to deliver an R value of 4.7, solidly capable of handling everything from summer nights through the edge of winter. The dedicated twin-lock valve system, with separate inflate and deflate ports, makes setup and breakdown noticeably easier than pads relying on a single shared valve. Independent reviewers who've tested it across seasons, including snowstorm camping trips, consistently call it the most comfortable pad they've ever slept on, backpacking or otherwise. The honest trade-off is weight and price. At about 1.5 pounds for the regular size, it's meaningfully heavier than pure ultralight pads like the X-Lite NXT, and at $230 to $250, it's also one of the pricier options here. It's also, per independent testing, only moderately warm for its weight, compared to pads purpose-built around insulation rather than plushness, and it deflates more slowly than simpler single-chamber pads. If you want the single most comfortable night of sleep this list can offer, and you're willing to carry a little extra weight and spend a little extra money to get it, this is the pad. And there you have it, 5 of the best sleeping pads for camping in 2026, and as you can see, there really isn't one perfect pad for everyone. The Climate Static V2 keeps things light and simple for warm weather adventures, The Fun Pack focuses on convenience and easy inflation, while the Nemo Tensor Trail offers an impressive balance of low weight and comfort. Moving up the list, the Elegear Cumbre X brings serious insulation for colder conditions, while the Therm-a-Rest Neoloft takes the top spot if maximum comfort is your biggest priority. So, which one would you choose for your next camping trip? Would you go ultralight, prioritize warmth, or carry a little extra weight for a more comfortable night's sleep? Let me know your pick in the comments, and if you found this comparison helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more camping and outdoor gear reviews. All the links are in the description, so be sure to check them out before you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.